For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back to Two Guys and the Bible. My name is C.A. Middleton. I'm the youth pastor at Lake Athens Baptist Church here in Athens, Texas.
Yeah, I'm Cody Coleman, pastor at Parkview Reformed Baptist Church here in Athens.
Go up with your sweater.
The Spurge. It's my Christmas sweater. Spurgeon's probably rolling over in his grave that someone put his face on a sweater.
It's like, what are these idiots doing?
Yeah. So.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've been wanting one too, but I haven't.
I want the Calvin one bad. Bah humbug.
Bah humbug. That's funny. That's kind of that would fit you, actually.
You think?
Yeah, I'll be talking something about how I'm all Christmassy and in the spirit and everything. You're like, let me tell you why you're a pagan. I'm like, wait,
hey,
what?
Whoa. I'm just challenging your thinking. I embrace all of the Christmas things. We decorated the Christmas tree last night. We hung little stockings in our house. My wife made Christmas cookies. You know, we put on Christian hymns, but not, we're not singing like Rudolph the Big Red-Nosed Reindeer or something. But, well, I mean, I don't have a problem if someone wants to do that. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's other songs to sing.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh. So. Yeah, I was just joking, by the way. That's what we're talking about today, guys. It is Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of stuff going on. Of course, as Christians, we know why we celebrate Christmas, and even non-Christians will ultimately know why we celebrate Christmas. The aim we're trying to go for in this show, though, is we need to renew our minds. Mm-hmm. And we're talking to ourselves too, because we do get caught up in some of the distractions and stuff, and we can lose sight of the eternal God who created this universe, humbling himself and coming and living as a man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that Christmas turns into, well, Starbucks doesn't put Merry Christmas on their coffee cups.
Oh, gosh. How awful.
Jesus is the reason for the season signs. It turns into a fight for some people, right? Of let's keep Christ in Christmas. And then on the other end, it turns into materialism, distraction, right? Moralism, right? Be good. Right.
Be good so Santa will come see you.
Right. Lying to your kids to get them to be good. So that, it turns into all these things. And even in the church, people are distracted and caught up with the activity of Christmas when it's a great opportunity, one, to evangelize, right? Because everyone's already thinking about it. Two, to get your mind fixated on a doctrine that is all over the place. And we might talk about it throughout the year, but isn't it nice that a whole country takes basically a whole month and focuses on this, that God robed himself in flesh and dwelt among us. Emmanuel, God with us. That's all, and all the implications of that. The reason, that's where our mind should be at the same time that we're trying to enjoy some of the good things that are there and redeem what's there that can be redeemable and enjoy what's there to enjoy.
Here's maybe a practical way of thinking about it, at least in my own mind. And sometimes what I think in my own mind is not relatable whatsoever to anyone else. So I'll say that up front. But when we are putting up a tree, which we do, when we're baking cookies, right? When we're hanging stockings, when we're doing these kind of things. Well, a lot of times we're going through it. It's that time of year. It's fun. It makes the house look neat for a little while, and you'll put some apple cinnamon stuff in your little melting pot, and it fills the room. It just smells like Christmas, right? I love those things. I really do. But stop and just think about what I said earlier. In John 1, in Colossians 1, in Hebrews 1, we see where this Jesus is the entire purpose for creation. His cross, him suffering on the cross, is the actual point in history where everything that came before it looks to it, and everything that came after it looks back at it. The whole purpose for creation is this. All things were created by him, for him, and through him. And we are depraved sinners, and the only way that we can be saved from our sin is if he left his rightful position in heaven and came to earth and lived as a man, never breaking the law of God, only to humble himself, allow himself to become betrayed by a friend, arrested, and given into the hands of lawless sinners, right? Taken, be put on trial in front of the Sanhedrin council, and ultimately be taken before the Roman governor. And the people, the Roman governor comes out as tradition, right? I'm going to release one of these prisoners to you. Which one do you want? Let the murderer go and crucify Jesus. He chose to do all these things, and he ultimately went to the cross and hung there and died and was buried and rose again. But the God of the universe chose to come live the life that we can. That's why we bake cookies in December. That's why we put up a Christmas tree. Yes, the lights are pretty, but we have to reflect on these things. Like, what are we doing? Oh yeah, we're celebrating Jesus' birth. Okay, why was Jesus born? Why is it important that he was born of a virgin? Do we ever think about that? To break the line of original sin. I'm yelling.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
It's good. I mean, and it's like I shared with you. No one has an issue with nativity scenes. No one has an issue with the kind of the basic general Christmas story that always gets laid out there this time of the year. Jesus is born of a virgin, yada, yada, yada. Angels, star, wise men, the whole thing, right? No one has, that's great and fun and wonderful. But the real thing about Christ coming is it's a declaration that man is depraved and cannot save himself. That God intervened into the world to save sinners from their sins. That's the biggest problem we have. That's the number one problem we have. That's the problem of the world, right? And not just to save his people from his sins, but to deal with sin, the curse, and the fall, the whole thing, all of it, right? Correcting all of it. And that's a huge thing.
It is, because to really wrap your brain around, like you said, when we talk about the true meaning of Christmas, even or reason for the season, and those are fine things to say, but we're not really, that's surface level. We're not diving deep. And when you really focus on the event, why Jesus came, but that makes you have to face the reality of who we are. And that's what people don't like.
We think that we're keeping the true meaning of Christmas and making the reason for the season Jesus, and doing that equals nativity scenes and the Christmas story.
Saying Merry Christmas instead of Happy
And
Holidays.
saying Merry Christmas instead of Happy. And it's like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would say, yes, Jesus is the reason for this season. But what Jesus are we talking about? The Jesus that you've created in your own mind? The traditional Jesus of the Bible Belt and America? Or the Jesus of the Bible who came to deal with sinners?
Yeah.
Right? And to save sinners.
Yeah.
See, people are even fine with, yeah, Jesus came to save us. No, he came to save sinners. You have to deal with the fact that you're a sinner. You've got to come to that. And not just any sinner. Right? Not like you're just kind of messed up, CA.
We don't, it's not oopsie daisies.
Yeah.
It's that we openly
darn.
and willingly choose to rebel against a God that is holy, holy, holy.
The Bible calls us God haters, enemies of God, children of wrath, sons of the devil. I mean, think about this language. Dead in our trespasses and sins. Dead in them. The only thing that we, apart from Christ, love to do is sin and hate God. And it says, she shall bear a son, you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins.
Okay, so that's one verse. Of course, it's in a context of many about the birth of Jesus. But that one verse has a lot of deep theological meaning. She will bear a son. Who's the she? Let's just break it down. Who's the she?
Mary.
The Virgin Mary, right?
How'd she bear a son?
She conceived by the Holy Spirit of God.
Right.
Virgin, and the reason again Jesus had to be born of a virgin is to break the line of original sin. Mm. Every man since Adam we inherit original sin through the Father. That is why Jesus was born of a virgin. So he did not inherit original sin. That's why we're sinners. We're not sinners because we sin.
Right.
We sin because we're sinners.
When it says he will save his people from their sins, the act of sinning is happening because of the nature of the person.
Right. So that's why Mary was a virgin. Jesus was the Son. And it goes on. So she says, she will bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus. For he will save his people from their sins.
So we have all of the concepts that we like to focus on during this season, right? The virgin birth, Mary, Jesus coming. It's about Jesus. Jesus is the reason for the season. But it's like we stop there, right? She will bear a son, she'll call his name Jesus. Oh, Christmas. We've done it. And we don't read the rest of the passage. Like the rest of the concepts of Christmas are him saving people from their sin.
Not only do we not go that far, we certainly don't go this far. I want you to notice, it says that he will save his people from their sin.
Right.
It's not that he's not going to attempt to save. He's not going to try to save. He's not going to hope to save.
My friend Rudy says he's not a social worker, a struggling social worker. He's the King of Kings.
Either Jesus died to 100% effectually atone for the sins of his people, right? Or he died to potentially atone for the sins of people. And what I'm arguing is this verse teaches us that Jesus died to 100% effectually atone for the sins of his people. That's what it says.
Yes.
He will save his people from their sins.
Yeah.
Of course, this is fleshed out more in other passages.
Yeah, you have his accomplishment on the cross of effectually, definitely saving his people. He did save his people. It wasn't an attempt to save. He did save his people. All that whoever would believe on the Lord Jesus Christ are saved because the work has been finished by Christ. Now, the part that modern professing evangelicalism has forgotten is this. This passage also has implication to your sanctification. That he continues to save you from your sins, right? He did the work, and then there's the reality in the person is it's getting worked out in practical sanctification. It's happening. He is actually saving you from your sins. He is actually delivering you from practical, real unrighteousness to make you more righteous and holy like him. And he will do that. That's a promise that's going to happen. This is why we should come, let us adore him. This is why we should sing joy to the world, right? This is why we should go tell it on a mountain. Because of the great work of Jesus in salvation. This is why it's appropriate in ways to celebrate this. So, I think well-meaning Christians, all of us, we do want to be not just cliche about Jesus is the reason for the season, right? But yet, man, we have to fight like a dog to not get distracted by everything else, right? To just not get caught up in everything that's going on. So that our minds can stay. I mean, how many people are sitting down on any time, like once a week even? I know it's hard. But like once a week during this month and focusing in any way on the scriptures, on Christ, on those themes of Christmas, to try to get your mind, as I said during Thanksgiving, to fight idol worship, you worship God.
Yeah.
So to fight the idols of Christmas season and the things that we will tend to worship, fight that with worshiping Christ.
Dude, that's such a simple statement, but it's so profoundly true. Yeah, the only thing that can prevent you from idol worship, because you're worshiping something. God created us as people that like to worship things. And if you're not worshiping God, you're worshiping something else. So focus on him, his person, his character, who he is, what he's done, what he is doing.
And that takes practical things like, I don't really want to spend any time listening to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I have no problem with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm like, I don't want to be Scrooge here, but I'm going to fight to put in my mind and my children's mind. Like when we did the Christmas tree today, it was like, well, let's listen to some Christmas music. So we turned on gospel-saturated, incarnational hymns, right? Not because we're holier, not because we're some Puritans, not because but because I want me and my wife and my family to fix our mind on Christ.
Because you know that if you don't do these things,
yes.
you're going to worship something else.
I am
or think about
I'm the worst about it.
Yeah, we all are.
I would go and listen to all of the songs.
I just want to point this out because we say these things, guys, because we know who we are as people.
Right.
Yes.
I'm prone to go do the very thing of...
If I'm listening to Frosty the Snowman, and I do listen to Frosty the Snowman, but if I'm listening to that, I'm thinking about a snowman.
Yeah.
If I listen to Come Let Us Adore Him, I'm thinking about Jesus.
Right.
It's that simple.
Right.
We're both yelling.
Calm down. Need a shock collar.
That little one is fired up.
Frodo, calm down. But listen, so that it is about the mind and the gates that get there, the eyes and the ears and what goes in. And you're right, I know myself well enough to know that I will go over here and I will stay over here. For me, it's nostalgia land. That's where I want to worship. Because I grew up in the Northwest where Christmas was like real, right? You had snow and it was real. Like everything that you think about Christmas season was going on up there. And my family does these huge things. And so I want to have that for my kids. I think it's all good and fine, but I will stay there. And so I'm saying no to that. No, you stop it. And I'm going to fight to come over here. Or I'm going to get distracted. Now, that's really what we need to do all the time.
Right.
But especially during when a season seems to be a little bit more prominent.
Here's an example of what, dude, I'm telling you, man, music is a powerful thing.
Very powerful. We don't understand how
One of my
powerful it is.
favorites, and it just, because it's Christmas when you hear it, you know the season has come, is, I don't even know what it's called, but the person had chestnuts roasting on an open fire, right? I mean, you hear that deep voice, right? You're just like, yeah, right on.
Right.
It's Christmas is here. And that's what I'm thinking about. I'm picturing it snowing outside. It's cold. There's like stockings hanging on the fireplace.
Yeah, so
and they're
weird.
sitting there roasting chestnuts. Who does that, first of all?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Who has a Yule?
picture it in my head,
Right.
right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful, right? That's what we're talking about. Yeah, are we saying don't listen to that song? No. But what we are saying is think about this thing. Like, that song's causing you to reflect on these things. Listen to deep Christian hymns that are talk about the incarnation, God becoming a man, so that your mind will focus on that.
And then enjoy the good things as good gifts from God that lead you to Him.
Yeah.
And to look to Him, not to focus on... When you get to go to be with your family, it's one of my favorite things, okay? And this year, particularly, we're going to be here at our home, not in the Northwest. And we get to be as a family together, wake up, enjoy, have a day off, spend the time with your family, enjoy good food. All of that should be laugh, enjoy, but let your mind, as often as you possibly can in those times, go towards Him. I have this good gift of a family because of you. Yeah. And as a sinner, I'm trying not to pervert this good gift because you've saved me now. Like, because I'm saved, I can enjoy family in a way that you've created it. Because I've been saved, I can enjoy this good food. You know what I mean? Because I've been born again and bought by Christ's precious blood, I'm at least seeking not to pervert these good gifts. When before I would have just, perverted all of it and destroyed it, because that's what you do.
We take gifts from God and we turn them into lousy gods.
Right. So,
all right.
That's what we want for me, for my family, for you, for anybody listening. Just that you'd saturate your mind with the Bible, with song about Christ. You'd fight to think of Christ as much as you can. You'd fight to look at let me just, I'm not trying to run, but this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people to think. This is what we don't do, is think. Right? Like, we don't think about it.
Thinking requires effort.
Yeah. I mean, we need to just be thoughtful people. Because I don't think it's thoughtful either to say, well, Christmas is some pagan holiday, and you just throw everything out.
Yeah.
That's not thoughtful.
No, and that's what neither one of us believe.
Right. And so it's thoughtful to look and go, what is this preaching to me from the world this Christmas? How am I going to, is there anything redeemable in it? Am I able to take anything and say, this is good, bad, throw it out, whatever, but think through it, right? I mean, let me just give you an example. There's the side that says, no television, don't ever watch anything in culture, don't ever do that. That's bad, sinful, wrong, stay away. The boogeyman. Or you look at it and you examine it. You say, what is this worldview? What is it teaching? What is this?
Right.
And you think about those things. The same thing we're asking our own hearts to do this time, your hearts to do. Think about everything that you're doing and say, why am I doing this? Should I be doing this? And how does this lead me to worship and love Jesus more?
Amen.
That's it.
Well, we do wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And again, we just, like he said, this was just to help us think about why we do these things. Mm-hmm. You know, why there are some, Christians say, oh, you shouldn't do any of these things. Mm-hmm. No, that's not, we said, we want to ask ourselves why we do these things, mm-hmm. right? No, there's a distinction. Don't put up a Christmas tree. Don't bake cookies. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, why do we do these things? Mm-hmm. Why do we put up a tree? Mm-hmm. Why do we bake cookies? And we're just trying to encourage all of us to answer that question, is because God became man.
Yeah,
and why did he become man?
And I would say that some people have thought through it and said, I'm not going to put up a Christmas tree.
Right.
Okay. Well, fine. I can respect people that do that as long as we keep it in the context of Romans 14, and keep it there. That's great. But you're right. It's let's just be thoughtful. Let's think through it. And most importantly, do everything you can to draw closer to Jesus and him, and worship him, and love him, and be with him. And so our prayer for all of these videos, especially this one, is that sinners would be saved. Right? That's what he came to save sinners. So we want sinners to be saved. We want saints to be sanctified. And we want God to be glorified.
Put candy canes on your Christmas tree?
I do not. My wife sent us special ornaments, like pictures of kids, and, so it's just first Christmas ornament, whatever. So.
Remember
and we wear spurred shirts.
We tinsel all over it. It looked like little pieces of aluminum foil. I'm glad we've moved on past that.
We've moved on.
Thanks for watching this episode of Two Guys in the Bible. I think this is episode 12 now.
Man!
We got a dozen of them.
Awesome. I love it.
Anyway, go ahead and hit them with the tagline.
I just did.